Good evening, everyone, or afternoon or morning, wherever you may be. Welcome to Sight Club. It's Tom Sidney Bushnell, aka Numbers, or Tom Numbers, as some affectionately like to call me. Welcome to Sight Club and the Tom Numbers Show. And so, just a heads up, I've got two YouTube channels, and I'm posting on both, and they're both my channels. And so, make sure you subscribe to both. And I want to wish everyone a happy New Year. And happy New Year to you, Rachel. So I've got Rachel Rightside Blonde here in the house. Well, not literally. Last time we were in the house, but now we're in the Zoom house. And we wanted to go into a lot of stuff. So Rachel, people that know Rachel will know that she's been doing the George collection and for George magazine. Correction. She got George collection, which is her channel. And then she also works for the new George magazine. So we'll talk about two other things. But I wanted to highlight Rachel's George collection because she's been doing that for the best part of a year, maybe more now. And interestingly enough, magazine, which is the second subject we'll talk about, comes to 76, which is a magic one, which is Thomas, and George is 57, which is Tesla, and it's also England, where I am currently right now. But I'm a globetrotter, so you might see me somewhere else next time. Who knows? But anyway, Rach, how are you? How was Christmas and New Year's? And give us the updates, the latest, or give us a forensic look into the George collection, what inspired it, how you got there, and what people can look forward to by looking at current episodes, but also ones way back, because us digital soldiers put thousands of hours of work into the things that we do, and all of our content is valid, and people that love our work, we're thankful for them. And there's lots of new people joining at the moment as well. So it's good to go back and see historic videos of our work as well. So over to you, Rach.
All right. Well, thank you for having me on, Tom. And I love your purple in the background. I really, really enjoy that.
It's my Trump room.
Your Trump room.
88 purple Trump. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, ooh, I like the disco room. That's pretty cool. I need to get some cool lights behind me next time. But yes,
I might
George collection. I think we're like maybe I'm maybe a year into it. I think I started the end of January of 2021. So my 47th episode is coming out this Friday, 1/6, and that's significant. If you watch the show this Friday, you'll learn why it's significant. I won't go into it here. But my George journey started in a basement. For those of you that don't know the story, I found actually the inaugural issue of George, the original George, was found in a basement. I was volunteered to clean out this basement, and I was really not happy about it, but I was cleaning it out, found the inaugural issue of George, and that's what started the entire collection. I have every single issue. I don't have every cover. I'm missing like 2 covers. There's 61 covers. I have every issue, but some of the months had 2 different covers. So I'm looking for 2 of those. If anyone, maybe I should put those out somewhere. Maybe I should say, hey, does anybody have any one of these that they want to sell me for a decent price? Maybe I should do that.
Yeah.
But I've been doing the George collection, like you said, pretty much all of 2022. The episode 47 comes out this Friday. And since then,
47 Rachel, 47 John.
Yes. And since then, I have gained, a new position within the new George magazine as well. So it's been a whirlwind of a couple of years, Tom. And I'd venture to say that it started prior to the night we met, but I think the night we met was like the defining like spark of a moment that just like poof changed everything. So it's kind of hard to explain to people that maybe haven't been following me for a while, but I feel like your viewers will definitely know the story. They've heard it many times about us meeting in Iowa, of all places, when you live in the UK.
Yeah.
And then, we meet. I told you I was going to be a blogger, which is why I named myself WRITESIDE Blonde. I was never going to show my face. And then Tom's like, hey, come on a show with me. Okay, I'll do that, but I'm just going to show my logo. No. You got to show your face. So here I am. Tom, it's all your fault.
It's my fault now. It's my fault. I'm responsible for many things. And Rachel's stardom being one of them. So, yeah. And 47 is also the atomic number for silver. And I remember a good conversation at the family table with, about silver. And 47 is France. 47 is time. And I think that we're going to see some, as we go further and further into the game, I'm going to call it the game because 26 is game. God is 26, which is game. Flag is 26, and also card is 26. And we've got the trump cards. You've got the tarot cards with Janine and but as we go into the game, one refers to the game as well. So, but time is 47, and I think as we go further into this 2023, 223, because if you drop the 0, 223, I think it will be a magnificent year in many ways for all of us. President Trump said it, didn't he? He gave an address at Mar-a-Lago with Melania, and he wished everyone Happy New Year, and he said that it will be a great year for everybody, and he said you included, like pointing to whoever the press or the reporters, the photographers or the supporters were. I think we might be. I think Mar-a-Lago might be a place to go to this year as well. So,
I would love to go there. That would be amazing. And I do think, what is today? The 4th? Today's the 4th. And it's just in 4 days, the amount of things that have happened that have just suddenly, news events. I'm not going to talk about them because we can't. But the obvious news events, the news that happened a couple nights ago, for instance, those things are going to get people to start questioning them. The ones that haven't questioned anything yet.
What was that one, right? Oh, and 4th is 88 Trump, interesting enough.
See, look, that's why you have purple in the background, isn't it?
That's it, purple.
Yeah.
That's the royal color. Royal 71 site.
You need to get a pink one too that matches your site club logo.
Yeah, and on the back I've got my the Tom Number Show, the purple one. Yeah, I need to get the pink one. a pink one, a pink, and because pink is Donald, and then purple is 88 Trump. So if you see pink and purple together, which are the two main colors of my channels, Donald Trump 138. What happened two days ago then on the 2nd? What happened?
I'm talking about the event at the football game.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Bills. Yeah. So I feel like that's going to get a lot of people to question, well, what happened? What could be, there's no doubt that, well, I guess I shouldn't say that.
There's a lot of big people on Twitter saying it's because of what we think it might be for.
Right. Yep, exactly. So I think more events like that, events that are undeniable, that people will have to just be faced with it. I think that this is the year where the ones in charge are going to say, you know what, enough playing around. It's time for disclosure. It's time for these things to start happening. And it's only the 4th day of the year. And we've seen some major things happen, especially over on Twitter too. So it's going to be a good year. I really feel like that.
Don't the files come out tomorrow? Is it today or tomorrow?
Well, they've been dropping already.
Yeah.
I don't know what part we're on now.
But the one about Dr. F, is that
Oh, I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I know I'm not sure if it's today, tomorrow, when it is, but I do know that one's coming out.
Imminent, isn't it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've mentioned this a few times, but I think it's appropriate because of where we are in the game. So people remember I've talked about the Bluebird Motel in Back to the Future, and it's a marker. It is a marker, and I knew it was there in the film. And then when Elon came out, I don't know, March or April of 2022, when he said he's going to buy Twitter, and I was like, it's there, the Bluebird Motel, it's the Twitter, it's there, and the numbers come to 138. Donald Trump, pink plus purple, 138, revaluation 138. Number 7, that's Matt Letizier's number on his jersey, so 138. 138 comes to Derek Johnson. He's a new one that's popped on the scene in the last 6 months and been invaluable with info. So a big shout out to you, Big Cowboy, if you're listening. And also 138 is Elon Musk bank, and he obviously purchased it with a lot of dosh, and that's 44 billion. 44 is Anon, so that's interesting. 44 is Mask. 44 is faith. 44 is hope. So if you have faith and hope, 244s plus them together, 88, that's Trump. But it's also I am Twitter, which is 138. And Twitter is also the word intelligence, 115. And it's also the word thank you, or 2 words. And it's also the word love you, or the 2 words. But it's I am intelligence. I am Twitter is 138. And I am comes to 23. And one has told us over many years that things of global significance happen on a 23. And we're now in the year of 2023. Yeah.
I haven't
2023. What's that?
I said I hadn't heard him say that. If he had, it must have escaped me. But that's
he said that. He has said that. He said that a few times. And I made a brief mention to it when we did the show last week, but he didn't talk about the 23. But he has on other ones. But the 23. So 23 comes to that comes to 163, which is back to New York. Someone important's name as well, or abbreviated name. But President Trump said, I think, I'll drive our First Lady back to New York in an RV. 223, so if you drop the 0, as one says, I keep them open in simple geometry, but you can drop the 0. So that's 223. 223 comes to military tribunals, and it comes to global currency reset as well, 223. So we'll see. I actually personally think we're going to be in this I've mentioned it, but I'll maybe describe it a little bit more in detail. I believe in the New Jerusalem. I believe that will return or be built upon the American continent. It will descend. A lot of people talk about the New Jerusalem being a huge galactic starship, a spaceship that will descend. I think JFK is like a Captain Kirk on there. I think he's probably the captain of the ship, and I think Trump and all the others, can go back and forth between it. But the significance of it is 228, which is the best is yet to come. And the New Jerusalem is also known as the dove. So it's a ship, so it's the dove. And there's this thing of the dove with Tesla, the dove. President Trump has had the picture with the dove. I think probably Junior's had pictures or images with him with the dove. Marie is 46, which is best. 46. Some of us have got 46 in our names, and Marie, as in Ivanka Marie Trump. But the best is yet to come is also the dove is yet to come, and that's 228. And if you drop the 0, 2028, and the Simpsons have predicted that Ivanka will be president in 2028.
Hold on one second. I just did this last night when I was shooting my newest George collection. Hold on one sec.
So I feel that we're going to be here until at least 2028. I think a lot of things will drop and change between that time. But I think in terms of full disclosure and the descending of the dove and the connection of the dove, and I think because President Trump says the best is yet to come. What is the best is yet to come? What is it?
I have to tell you this. Okay, so this is
nice
crazy.
Nice dove hands there, Rach.
This is crazy. Okay, so this is the Donald Trump George issue. Okay. And at the top, it says, Bush is smart enough. And they spelled enough, E-N-U-F. And that comes to 195, which is best is yet to come. So it's kind of funny that you just talked about that. And that was one of the things.
Wow. And there's just a thing that flashed up. It's got some more light with the TV. But the numbers they're putting out, I just got an 85. And a 121, and 121 is Second Coming. 85 is Awakening, it's Storm. 195 is my favorite director, actually, Christopher Nolan.
121.
Tiffany Blue, 121.
I told before everyone watching here, before we got on, I told Tom I was very excited about this because I used some of my Christmas money to buy some Tiffany perfume. And I said, truth be told, 50% was for the perfume, but 50% for me was just to get a Tiffany blue box.
For the box.
I wonder what they would have sold me the Tiffany blue box for without anything in it.
You could have asked.
I should have asked.
I'm sure someone would have done that. But we've got a spare one at the back.
Yep. They probably would have known.
If someone says no, just ask someone else. What's that?
They would have known I really wanted it. So they'd say, well, $50 or I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, Tiffany box. I've seen these in my time. Tiffany.
Right?
Tiffany's 81, which is Tower, which is dollars. It's a rest as well, actually.
And flip
So,
it. 18.
yeah, 18. Yeah, R. Yeah. So there's a lot of things to come. I think we're here at least until the 2028 228. Yeah.
Interestingly, Tom, yesterday I interviewed a man named Trey Smith, he's a director, and he's got a series called God in a Nutshell, and he's got a lot of views on these videos, and they're like hour and a half long videos about just evidence for things that happened in the Bible in the past. And he was talking about Kim Clement's prophecies. And
Is he the guy? Is he one of the guys that Juan introduced us to at that concert in Texas?
I don't think so. I don't think I've met him.
Okay.
I don't think so. But he was talking about the Kim Clement prophecies, and he was talking about the year 2027 and how Kim had some prophecy, and he said, if you could only see what I see. And he was just like in awe, and it was beautiful. And then Trey said that he asked, where will I be that year? And he went quiet, and then he must have seen that he wouldn't be around because he has passed away. And he fell to his knees. And I'm telling you, when he told me that, I had instant goosebumps everywhere. It was just crazy. But, we both kind of said 2027, we both think that stuff will happen before then. But by the year 2027, things will be so much better. We'll have made it through a lot of the really hard stuff, and we'll be on the other side of it. So I thought it was interesting, 2027, because we know what 27 is. So, okay. So that's what I think when I hear 27. I think JFK. So interesting year that he chose to have, to say 2027. If you could see what I'm seeing right now, it's beautiful. So it'd be really cool to see. But I really feel like, and Trey thinks so too, that things are going to have to happen. It won't happen. And, it won't take till 2027 to happen. It's starting already.
I think it's probably what's going to happen as we go on, as we keep going through the game. It will exponentially increase, And so when you talk about 227, so 227 is the New Yorker hotel, and that's where Tesla lived for the best part of 10 years. I've been there a couple of times, stayed there in 2021, visited it again briefly in 2022. But 227 is the New Yorker hotel, and I see certain things in New York. So I see the Tesla hotel, I see the Statue of Liberty, I do see the original Twin Towers coming back, and then you've got others, things like Empire State and Chrysler, and I think that New York has been set out in a certain way for a big reason. And even when Steve Bannon talked about the millennium, the 1,000 years of peace with the new Chinese Republic, and he was on Governor's Island, which is 192, which is Ivanka Marie Trump, and directly behind them is the Statue of Liberty. And Statue of Liberty, for whatever has happened in the past, is it's a reversal, it's a flip, and we know that because President Trump has now got the NFT cards with him in it, with the Statue of Liberty, and at least a couple of them. And I've been going on about the Statue of Liberty for ages because that was where I first got my numbers. I met Ivanka. A day or two later, I go to Statue of Liberty. I meet someone with the same date of birth as my cousin Paul. His date of birth was 118. He died, 10 days prior. And then I meet someone again with those numbers. They might have even had the Tesla numbers as well, 119, as we're going to Staten Island. But the Statue of Liberty is that focal point, and it's iconic, and I've always loved it and continue to do so. But it comes to 198, which is the resurrection. It comes to calm before the storm. It comes to President Trump. Comes to President J. Kennedy. And then which President Trump? Is it Ivanka? Is it Donald? Is it Junior? Is it someone else? Are we going to go Trump, Kennedy? Is that how we're going to go? Perhaps. Seems like it. But 228, they predicted it. They predicted it in The Simpsons. What's that?
I said, I swear I had a 198 last night, and you just brought it up again. You just brought one up. So I was going to look it up.
Bob Porco, actually, he comes on the chats. He's my friend in New York, and he gets a lot of good numbers. He did some 198s yesterday on Site Club. If you look in the it was a show I put up with me and Michelle Fielding, and they're up there because they're not on the channel before I put them up again. So I'll leave it at that. But they're there, so, and they'll continue. But yeah, he's got some really good 198s. But it's 198 going into the other thing as well about Statue of Liberty is you can get the Tesla numbers, you get the 369s. So 369 comes to time travel witness protection, comes to John Kennedy witness protection. Derek Johnson has talked about the reality of the witness protection. President Trump's father, Frederick Christ Trump. Yeah, I said Christ, Frederick Christ Trump. That was his father's full name. Comes to 244, which comes to witness protection. But the Statue of Liberty has had pictures of it being hit by a bolt of lightning. Bolt of lightning is in Back to the Future. A bolt of lightning is 171. We talked about that in the other show. It's a palindrome number. It's 17 mirrored, and 17 plus 71. 71 is Diana, is Lady Diana. It's Psyche. It's royal. But you add them together with 17 comes to 88, which is Trump. But there's been a bolt of lightning hitting the Statue of Liberty, and a bolt of lightning plus 198 Statue of Liberty comes to the Tesla numbers. It comes to 369. And in the Spider-Man film, the most recent one, they have the Statue of Liberty turning gold because it's copper. It's that green oxidized color, but it's golden, and golden is Tesla 57. So it's the golden age, but it's a portal and all these dimensions, all these multi-dimensions, because it's basically Spider-Man in the multiverse. It's not the cartoon one, but the actual film. They bring back the 3 Spider-Mans. Spider-Man is Patriot. Spider-Man was a key feature in the Twin Towers before 2001. 2001 Space Odyssey. Everything has been mapped out since time immemorial, and we're getting to live through it and see it. And we're in the biggest Pokemon Go game of all time. You know, that's what we're in.
It seems like it everywhere you look. Like, oh, that's crazy.
Because then you get it. The numbers will just appear as they need to. I had it just coming into the room. I'm like, I thought of something, and then I saw the last 3 digits of someone's phone number, and I was like, oh yeah, I need to do a show with him.
Yeah, that happened to me this morning. Actually, I was driving and
it was on the time 606. It was 606. The last 3 digits of their number 606, and I was thinking about doing a show with him, and he said he will do. So I think that's something I have to follow up on, and we'll see that. But I was like, wow.
Yeah, I know. Driving, I see a 447, and then the next car over it was a 999.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people would say, well, that's just a coincidence. Well, that's okay. You could think that, but that's not how it works for me. And I think that God knows that it works like that for me. So that's the way they're going to come. So that's the way it is.
Yeah. Yeah, so, exactly. Well, God is 26. Can't gain God, you know. It's all those. And the other thing about that is, what was I going to say? Can't remember now, but that's how it works. It does. The synchronicities are off the charts, you know, and when people start to get the thing is that numbers find you. You know, I think that that's my experience. So I can only speak from my experience, but they find you when you're ready. Right. They find you. They descend upon you, and then they prepare you for what's to come, because the best is yet to come. But they want people to be ready and prepared to help all the others get to that stage where the best is yet to come. But everything's on time. We might not know categorically what time everything is, but we know, we feel the big picture, we see it on, you know, and others, I think day by day are getting to that.
Right. And it brings you comfort because it helps you understand there's another thing out there. There's another entity. And a lot of people, especially recently, might not have believed in that. They might have been an atheist. And now we have this confirmation that there is a higher power that's guiding
Yes.
us, helping us through this. That's, so to me, I was just on a Zoom last night and they said, how has this, what has this done to your faith? And I said, well, I've always been like faithful, but this is just in your face. Like, it's evidence for me that it does exist and that it is true, because there's no other explanation for the journey that we've been on, for what we've experienced, other than that there is a higher power that exists and that is leading us through this. So I happen to believe it's God. People can believe all kinds of different things, and that's totally okay. So, but the purpose is that it's not just us here. We're not just like winging it. There is a plan. There is something happening here. And I happen to think it's a divine plan. There's literally no other explanation for it. So it's fascinating.
Yeah, it is. And you talk about this divine plan, and when you add up all the numbers, A is 1, first letter, B is 2, C is 3, all the way through to Z or Z 26, then it comes to 351, which comes to God communicates through numbers, comes to Jesus Christ is the English alphabet. It comes to all of there's about 20 plus sort of really powerful statements like that come to the 351. And it's mind-blowing, really. I mean, okay, think of so that I was always awake to stuff, and I was always searching there's a lot with Andrew Tate right now about escaping the matrix, and I relate to that really strongly, because all my life I've been trying to, I don't really call it that, but I was always trying to escape the matrix. And I've paid the price in my own life for some of the things I tried to, I guess, to stand up. But it's almost like we weren't at the correct point in time in the game for a total reversal, because the tides have changed now, and that's what we're seeing. And so sometimes it was a bit like you were kicking, against the pricks or hissing into a hurricane or worse, But if you wanted to escape, I would rather be free than be in the matrix, and whether that's, camping out on a hill, just escaping it, or trying to, I would rather take that option. And but now we've gone through this gate, this portal, this juncture in time, if we can call it time, where things have now, the game has gone into another level, and no individual can stop it. They can try and resist it. They can go again, but it's better just to get on board and surf with it, because my life has changed innumerably since 2020, and I can realize now what the things that happened to me, the some of the blows that I was dealt prepared me for this. I also realized why I wasn't permitted into certain things, even though I was capable, and proved that. I was like, something's going on here. It's not on merit, it's on other things. And so it prepared me for this time to be a warrior for the truth now, So I was always awake, but then I got activated as soon as the coronavirus, and it's all right to say it now because everyone can talk about it, descended upon the earth. That was another switch. That was another jump of consciousness from my perspective. And lots of us, elevated at that time. And even the words, the coronavirus, comes to 188, which comes to President Kennedy. It comes to Close Encounters. And why have we got that film, Close Encounters of the Third Kind? What's that about? That comes to 339. 339 comes to 309, or day 309. What day is 309 in the year? 309 is November 5th. We're told to remember the 5th of November. 5th of November is 176, Back to the Future. There's other ones that can extrapolate into that, but it's there. And Melania Trump, 143, is November 5th. Paul Bushnell, my cousin, is 143. Cousin Paul, or my cousin Paul, I should say, is 169, The Great Awakening. Trump Tower, Thomas Bushnell. Robert Zemeckis, the director of Back to the Future. Back to the Future, that's the date that was invented for time. Well, he invented time travel was on November 5th. And I talk about it a lot, but it's coming to pass now because of the Twitter files, because of Elon. and the Twitter symbol, and people can see Bluebird Motel has the Bluebird symbol. What else has a Bluebird symbol? It's Twitter, and Twitter is the first crack in the dam, and others will follow suit. So this was all predicted. We didn't know exactly how it was going to go, but we could feel it, we could see it. And as you get past each checkpoint in the game, you're like, that makes even more sense. But nevertheless, when we feel it, we put it out. Sometimes it doesn't make sense. But when we see it recurring and recurring, and then it gets to the point of like, And so that's just one of the many things that have been coming, are being, and will continue to be. And the Statue of Liberty, mark my words, is going to be massive in the future. You know, you can put your life on that. I mean, I shook my head then, but I'll nod my head. You can put. I wouldn't put your life. Don't put your life on things, but it's going to be there. You're going to see something major down the line with it. Maybe before 2028, but I think 2028 for sure.
Interesting. Well, yeah, that is a good sign if Trump's putting that on coins or, you know, Trump cards. I mean, I would never think that he would put the Statue of Liberty on something like that, knowing its origins and knowing from one and the
everything's come to pass. Yeah, everything's been flipped. Everything. Whatever was. I never had a dark feeling about it ever. I just always liked it. But then you look in the history, and one's given us a good history lesson on it with, you know, the upside down dildos. You know, the everything. So, but anyway, it's light. So it's dark to light. But another key to this is the actual technical name for Statue of Liberty is Liberty Enlightening the World. That's the technical name for it. And that comes to 320, and that comes to John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr. You spell out Jr., the full word. John Fitzgerald Kennedy Justice, John Fitzgerald Kennedy Stella, as in, you know, beyond this 3D realm. John Fitzgerald Kennedy Stadium. We're probably going to see some things in stadiums at some point. We just saw one the other day. And John Fitzgerald Kennedy Truth. They all come to 320, which is Liberty Enlightening the World, which is the name of Statue of Liberty. The Statue of Liberty is 198, calm before the storm. President Trump. Statue of future, statue of Space Force, statue of POTUS. And across the water, you've got the Twin Towers. You've got One World Trade Center, which comes to, what does that come to? I've forgotten now. So One World Trade Center, you've got World Trade Center to 185, Donald John Trump, Book of Revelation, the Silver Reset, the Book of Mormon,
219
a non-fungible token. Oh, that's it. Yeah, 219. So one World Trade Center, one is 34, which is DJT, which is Grace. But One World Trade Center also comes to the Mount of Olives, and we'll see something there because they say Israel will be last, and that will tie in with all the biblical and religious and other thought prophecies. And but the energetically, look at this one, Rach. 143 is Building 7, Ground Zero. 143 is Melania Trump. 185 is World Trade Center, which is Donald John Trump. 2001, they knew about them. You know?
Well, I've told you about my numbers 143, right?
Yes.
How I got three, like all at the same time. Two cars were passing me 143, and it was at mile marker 143. Yeah. So 143 has always been a really, that's like almost impossible for that to happen. The two cars have the exact same number plus the mile marker. And then I got off on the exit and saw another 143 just like moments later. So it's been that number has stuck with me.
It's always vital. It's all, you know, it's always, and even in New York. So Manhattan is 92 reverse numbers, but New York is perfection. It's illusion. It's Londinium. It's White Dove 111. So you've got the Return of the Dove. There's a book of Tesla about Tesla that was written called The Return of the White Dove. But 111 is three building. 111, that's three stacks. There's one there. There were two. There's one. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? You're going to get three. Christopher Nolan put it in his film Tenet. What's that?
Speaking of building 7, I just was talking to family members who still to this day had no idea anything about building 7. Isn't that crazy
Who?
that we still just family members,
Oh,
over the holidays, it got brought up and I said, yeah, the third building. And they're like, what are you talking about? No
yeah,
one knew about building 7 still over 20 years later. Isn't
yeah,
that crazy that we still don't know? Because that
yeah,
that really puts a huge wrench in the narrative, and I think that's why it hasn't really been shared. So maybe that's a good place to start with some family members that say, you know, something different about what happened that day. Say,
mm,
did you know about that building? Because they
yeah.
were shocked.
Has any of that come out in the Twitter files yet?
I don't think so. Not from what I've seen. It doesn't mean it couldn't have, but yeah, I haven't looked deep. Because here's the thing, when I hear these things, I'm like, oh, cool. Yep, we already knew that. We already knew that.
Yeah,
For me, all of this stuff is just for the people that are just now waking up to what's been happening for the last decade or 2 or 3. So I don't know where we are with the disclosure, but I know that it's coming out little by little, and hopefully it's waking people up.
yeah. You know what's interesting about the numbers on the Twitter files? So the Twitter files comes to 199. That actually comes to my grandfather's full name, Sidney Charles Wood, and he's part of the numbers for me. I get orbs with my grandparents and cousin and others. But the Twitter files is 199, but that comes to Patriot Time Machine. It comes to Patriot Reversal. So think of it. Twitter's now the Twitter files there. That hub is actually, it's confirming what we've been saying, alluding to all this time, and now it's becoming official because we know people want official things. They want, facts.
Right.
So that's how the world will believe when they see those facts, but also blended in with other things that they can't put their finger on. They're going to have to start to see the ascension symptoms or the blessings, the gifts, the fruits of the spirit, if you want to call it that, of the ascension. Ascension is 99, which is Patriot, which is ascension. They're going to have to see those things, but along with they need to see facts, because then it's like, then it gets rid of all the doubt in terms of the 3D for the people.
Mm-hmm.
So the Twitter files is, and I believe that's just the tip of the iceberg. I think there'll be loads more now. But then it's like, okay, how do you know this? Well, it's there. And then once it's blasted everywhere, once it's all across the mainstream, think of this, it took them 10 weeks to get everyone to close their doors and shut shop in 2020. They can do exact reversal on that, and bigger in less time if they need to,
That's true. That's true. I don't know if I sent you this video, but I'm curious your thoughts of it. There was a study that was done. I saw this video and it was really cool. They're talking about how time and space, it's all happening at the same time type of situation. So they did a study with these people who, I can't remember what they had, if they had like an illness or something and they were hospitalized. And what they did was in their the current day, they would pray and like send good vibes to themselves back when they were suffering. And they studied the results. And these people didn't know like who was actually praying for themselves and who was just not doing anything. And after the study was done, the people that had, prayed for themselves back in the past and sent good, heart vibes to, they healed significantly faster than the people that didn't. So this whole concept blew my mind, because this is kind of like, I'm a scientist person. I have a master's degree, so I know how to research and I understand like the statistical significance. If it is, this was significant. So there's no other explanation for it. I'm trying to think of a third variable in this, and like, what would that possibly be if they, so that stuff is fascinating to me. Just like the stuff that the people who can do remote viewing type of things, where they can go anywhere in time and they can see certain things. That whole concept was so fascinating. I don't know if I sent you that video or not, but I was curious, what do you think about that? Does that fit in with what you've come across?
Yeah, it does. And I'd like to get more more accurate with it, but I think it's coming. It's interesting. You send me again if you. I might have missed it, but send it to me again. But as you were talking, you said about. I think you said 3 or third. I think you said. Did you say 3 third in reference to what you were saying? I think you said 3 times or something, or. But so we're in 2023, and you talk about healing. So the word 3 is 56, which is light. It's also the word healing.
Mm-hmm.
And 2020, so you got 2020 vision. If you've got 20 on the 24-hour clock, 20 is 107, which is Trump's, which is quantum, which is military, currency, Superman, Aquarius, eternal life, atonement, so many things. But on the 24-hour clock, if you've got 9 o'clock is 2100 hours, what time is 8 o'clock? It's 2000 hours, 20. So it's 2020, 2020 vision. And you've got an 8 and an 8, so it's Trump again. So whichever way you skin it, it's always there. But we're in 2023. 3 is healing, 56, which is light, and you heal through light and sound and vibration. But 2020 can be Trump's quantum healing. So 2023 can be Trump's quantum healing. So I think we're going to see an acceleration of that. So it's interesting you brought that up, and you mentioned the 3 or the third as I was working that one out. 2023 as well is 270, which is north, south, east, west. So I'm hoping this thing in 23, as Juan says, things happen that change the planet on a 23. We're in the year of 23 now, and north, south, east, west is 2023. So that means everywhere. So I'm hopeful that will be the case. But yeah,
ready.
I know. Bring it on. Definitely.
Ready for the disclosure. Ready for so many different types of disclosures. Even like what I brought up with Juan, either clearing people's names or catching people who've been infiltrating or doing the wrong thing. I'm ready for all of it because I'm so sick of the bickering and it's just I don't want to give any energy to it, and it's like always a thing, and I'm just tired of it.
Yeah. That's the thing as well. There's a great phrase: where attention goes, energy flows. So whatever you decide to, there you go. I was going to say, whether you're a glass half full or empty, picking the glass up.
There's still some left.
There's still some left. I've got mine here. So and that's it. People say to me, "Oh, why didn't you mention more and more negative numbers?" I'm like, well, there's enough of that out in the world anyway. So my job is to give people comfort, reassurance, faith, and confidence for what's coming, and to give them light and understanding. And if they want to find negative ones, you'll find them along the way. But
it has to make sense.
Sometimes the point of view, it's a perception.
It has to make sense and match. That's what people don't understand is that the message could also equal bananas or it could equal strawberries, but does that make sense? No, it doesn't. So you have to think of what logically could make sense and use your brain a little bit. So I think there's a lot of people don't understand that concept, and that's okay if you don't, but there's more to it than just finding a number and then assigning something to it. It's not a black and white type of thing either. So you kind of have to be a little open-minded. So it's really hard to explain to people that don't understand. So I just don't.
What's that?
I said, I just don't even try. I'm just like, it's okay. If it's not your thing. Okay.
Well, I've said it before. It's the numbers come to you and the intuition comes to you, and then you get the confirmation through numbers. So like I said, I don't go looking at numbers online or, that's helpful for people, but I don't. I do my own ones that come to me, and I work them out, and then I remember them, and that's just how it works. So I guess I'm lucky that way, but also others can have that, So if you're pure in heart, then the numbers and other gifts will come to you, because the numbers are one gift, but there are other gifts, and they all interlace. And it's the intention. There's always the first one as well, really. I just find I'm like, oh, I think this. I have a thought. I'm thinking, and I see. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll work out the number on that, and then it happens. It's like it's like when we're doing shows with Juan, or with Janine or someone else, thoughts will come in and I'll work it out. And then they say it just like you did with the thing that you were talking about with healing. And that's how it is. So it's not like, oh, I must find, that's kind of quite
right.
And if that's at the level people are at, that's great. Then do it. It's worth the effort because things will come to you. But if you go on your gut and what you feel first of all, just work those out, and then you'll start to build up a thesaurus, a black book of all these numbers and meanings. That's how it works.
One thing, like this, as we get deeper into this, one thing I've really started to notice is that everyone has very deep set opinions on what they think is going to happen, what they feel is truth, and who they feel is good, who they feel is bad, all these things. Everyone has their own opinion, which is great that people are starting to use their brains and think. Mm-hmm. But what I believe and what you believe and what other people believe is what they believe. And I don't think that a lot of us have come to these conclusions based on our own life experiences. You have not lived my life. I have not lived your life, and other people have not lived our lives either. So it's really hard because there's so many different beliefs and everybody wants to share them. Everyone thinks that their belief is 100% correct and this one's correct and that one's correct. And I think when it gets to that point, we have to remember we are still Americans. We can still believe what we want to believe. That's what the whole purpose of America is to have the freedom of religion, the freedom of these things to believe what we want to believe. I understand trying to say like, well, here's what I think. And I like to hear what different people think. I'm always open-minded to what other people's ideas are. So I think it's really important for all of us to keep our minds open and not be so opinionated to where we like shut people off just because they haven't reached the same conclusion that we have reached in our lives. Yeah. Especially right now, because we're getting so close. I feel like we're getting really close to the end of this. It would be a shame to just come apart at this point. It's time to start coming together and say, that's okay. You believe that. This is what I believe. We can still be friends. We can still get along, because what's been done to the right and the left has kind of been done to our side, our movement as well. Yeah. And at this point, there's no purpose in that. It's not helping anything. So we really need to be cognizant of that. And that's why I asked on that question the other day. It just seems like we're all angry and that's not solving anything. So I don't know. That's my thoughts. A look inside my brain right now.
Yes, agreed, Rach. We'll wrap up in a moment. Just as you were talking, something came to my mind. I believe we're now entering the period of restoration of all things, the dispensation of the fullness of times. Juan has mentioned the dispensation. Ishmael talks about that, but the restoration of all things comes to 277, which comes to yes, the best is yet to come. So 228 plus yes comes to 277, the restoration of all things. What does that mean? That's probably time for many future episodes and series, to come. But the restoration of all things. If you're of pure heart and if things have been taken from you, God knows that. And atonement is quantum 107. And somehow, through a higher power, everything that is rightly yours will be restored to you. So I just wanted people to give them that hope, give them that faith that that's coming. I know that's coming. So the restoration of all things. If things were rightly yours, they're coming back. So this whole thing of what we're seeing right now with 2020, and it was taken from, and that we need to get it back, that's a metaphor for everything. If people are pure in heart and have been good humans, everything that was taken from you, which wasn't just, will be restored and added upon. So the restoration of all things is restoration of all things is 277, which is yes, the best is yet to come. So 49 yes plus 228. But the restoration of all things is 310. And that's the prophecy in Malachi at the end of the Bible. Malachi is 44, which is Anon, which is faith, which is hope. And in Malachi 310 comes to the quantum financial system, but it also comes to the restoration of all things. And restoration is 154, which is the second coming, the revelation.
Interesting.
the Golden Jubilee. So it's all coming. It's all coming. And I think it starts now, 2023. We'll start to see the return of things that were taken. Things that were taken will be put back to the rightful heirs. So that's coming. How
It
can
certainly
people
feels like it's shifted a little bit. Don't you feel like something's kind of shifted? Like maybe it's just our wishful thinking that I'm feeling, but I feel like, oh my gosh, it's been 4 days of this year, and every single day there's been some new bombshell that happened or some new revelation that's coming out, and I just feel like it's imminent now.
Yes, it is, Rach. It is. Revelations 1:21, and it's coming. You said new is 42, so new 42 plus 121 is 163. New Revelation is 163, which comes to 23. What a great way
You
to
just
end.
talked about 163. You just brought that up.
We did. And it's
So.
20, and it's this year. So the word 23 comes to 163. Back to New York and important people's names. How can people find your George collection, Rach? We'll have to do part 2 because we didn't get into. We'll go into maybe more of the episodes, but it was just a great free flowing conversation. But how can people find your work on the George collection? And we'll put the link below.
I'm on YouTube. I'm on Rumble. I'm on Telegram. Not very much, but I do visit there occasionally. I'm on Truth Social. But to watch the videos, you can watch on my website, WRITESIDEblonde.com, which is WRITESIDE. Right, like write a blog. A lot of people still write the RIGHT. That's not correct. Write a blog. Just remember that. So you can check out the website, and you can read a lot of the articles that I've written for George, the new George magazine. They're all on my website as well too, if you wanted to see those. But yeah, any of those you can find me on. And if any of you have any comments, I've been getting comments on my blog, on my George magazine articles, or questions, all kinds of things. So you can contact me on the website, WRITESIDEblonde.com, if you have any comments or want to share anything with me. I always like engaging with my listeners and readers. I think it's fun.
Yeah. Excellent. Thanks, Rach. I'll put the links below, and make sure you subscribe to Rachel's YouTube, WRITESIDE Blonde, the Tom Number Show and Sight Club, both of my channels. I'm actively on both of those, and you'll get goodies all along the way, and on Rumble and Telegram and Twitter and Truth Social and everything. So excellent. We'll do it again soon, Rach. Thanks for everything you do. Thanks for all the work you put in, and it's good to have you on the team. God bless. I'll speak to you soon.
Sounds good. Bye, Tom.
Thanks, Rach. Cheers and take care. Bye.